In today's jaded and cynical political environment, it's often tempting to dismiss any number of different reform movements as unrealistic, out of touch, or simply to say that their goals cannot be priorities on the public agenda. That cannot be said of the burgeoning movement for criminal justice reform in American society. The main reasons are twofold. First, in order to have a truly free society, there must be effective limits on the power of the state over the people. And ultimately, that government power flows, first and foremost, from the fact that government has uniformed armed agents at its disposal to enforce its dictates. In other words, government's power over the people stems first and foremost from its ability to send men and women with guns and sundry other weapons to enforce its commands to the rest of the population. Without effective limits on the power of those law enforcement agents and agencies, and without limiting the degree to which government passes laws and issues commands to the rest of the population, commands that must then be enforced by those men and women with guns, without those limitations, you cannot have true, meaningful freedom across the board in a democratic or free society. Second of all, one must also consider the fundamental purpose of government. One of those purposes is to ensure public safety. It's true. But another one of those purposes is to secure the freedoms of all of the citizens in the society. A government that does not preserve and protect those freedoms, that does not serve those functions of safety as well as individual liberty, loses its legitimacy. But that loss of legitimacy is more or less inevitable when the government over-criminalizes human conduct, as so many governments in the United States have done up to this point. When government busies itself, concerns itself first and foremost with coming up with as many rules and restrictions as it can to hamstring the lives and the conduct of private citizens, and when it adopts policies that are far too permissive of its law enforcement agents, often allowing them to commit some of the most grievous abuses against individual citizens, then that government loses its legitimacy, and it can no longer claim to be a sufficient guarantor and protector of fundamental freedoms in a free society. For those primary reasons and many more, criminal justice reform is very much a moral imperative, a matter of moral agency to which all right-thinking men and women should bend their energies in the years to come.